Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for viewing my channel. You can help me more by subscribing and hitting the like button. I will, that will be very much appreciated. On this tutorial, we should be able to write some hello world, and then you should be able to do some settings, and probably we explain how everything works together and how it works. So the first thing I want to show here is that we need we need to go back to our installation files where we install our project. So I have mine here inside my hard disk, and if you followed me, you should have the same thing in the same directory, but your own might be another name here. This time might be the name of your computer. So, and then I will just come to this strategies. I can have it here. I'll enter the blog, then here. So I'm just going to copy this one here, Control C, and then I'll change the directory here, and then I'll Control V here. So I have it here. So I'm going to open these files now in um, in Visual Studio Code, and there's no need for me to just open the Visual Studio Code and start looking for the files. No, I can just do something like this: code dot, which means that the Visual Studio Code should just open the files where in this current directory. That's where I am now. Open the files there. So if I do click enter now, it should pop up. So I have my Visual Studio Code here, and then one thing we want to do now is to first go to the uh settings. So we have the settings here, which is settings by here. So I'm going to import the OS, part. Then I'm going to import the OS, because I really need to do something like this in the OS. And then I will come here, and then I will add the app here, which is the name of my app here. This website is the name of my app, so I'm going to add it here, which I'll be calling it website. So and I have to finish it with comma. So then the next thing here, we don't really need to put the base HTML template here now, because that this is actually the reasons why I imported the OS. When I have two or more app, I can do that by importing the base HTML here, but without even importing it, there's no actually needed here, because Django will automatically look for the templates for himself. So when we go to the templates section, we will be sorting that out as so. Then here now we have the database here. If you are connecting to another database, there's another way to do that, which will be working on later on. When we get the database, we have to change the database from this one SQLite 3, which follows every Python project, but we are going to be using probably maybe a MySQL. And if you don't have the MySQL, you can just go to their website, Oracle's website, and download one. So I think I have MySQL something here, that's Workbench. Yeah, I have my which is Workbench, which I will be opening, we'll be using when our website start getting more tedious. So we'll be using that one. But right here now, we are just going to stick with this SQLite 3. So, and then we don't really need nothing much here, just to display our first thing on the website. So I'm just going to save this now, start writing our code, and then the first thing we want to do is to create another UI.py here in our app section. So this migration is nothing you should worry about. The uh the function of this init is just an empty, is always an empty stuff, and sometimes you might try something there, but the function is that it allow every other stuff in here should be importable. So with this with the available of this file now, I can import app, I can import model, I can import views anywhere I like. That's the major function of this init. It allows us to be able to import any code inside this admin, inside this app, inside the model. And then you can also see it, you have it in this migration also. So this is what it will be used to migrate our models. Don't worry, we will explain more about that. So the what I want to do now is that I'll create another UI dot, that's UI dot py here, almost the same thing as this. So I'll start by saying URL dot py. So I already created another URL dot py here now. I'm going to come here, and then in this part I'm going to import include. And what this does is that it will search for all the strings in your files. Any strings in your file that has the name of this include, it will search for it. So this is how we use it. We're just going to see something like this: the path, then we have the this is an empty string, because this empty string actually means that anywhere we are searching through, anywhere we are going to, it will be an empty string. Like if you are entering a browser, the first time you're entering a browser, that will actually be the home page. So before you navigate to anywhere, the first thing that you first see is this empty string that I'm pasting here. So that means anywhere you are going to, you're just going to see yeah, anytime you are logging to the website the first time, this is where you're going to be redirected to. So and then I want to do something like this, but so I'm just going to copy this right here, this one here. I'll copy this one here, and then I'll paste it here. So but the name of my app is not blocks.urls. The name of my app is website dot, I think I have website dot url here. So I have it all done here. So and then I can just come here and then copy all this, and then I will come here and then I'll paste everything here, and then I can just remove this one here, and then this admin also, I don't really need the admin here. I'll go to remove the admin here, and then this one is going, and then this one is going. And then the first thing I want to do now, I want to come to my view.py. Then I will do something like creating the first view, which is something that we will see. Let me just create a function based view. That's then we're going to have the name of the view, that's the home page, and then we should have something like request. So this request actually, what is doing is that as you are passing through the pages, we have two method in web browsing in your server. That's request and get. So I'm sorry, that's post and get. So we are using this variable here to unpack the two together, so that we can have the two inside this request. So whenever it is request, whenever it is post, it is be passed inside this request. Whenever it is get, it will be passed inside this request. So that is how we do this stuff. So after this one, the first thing I want to do now is that I need to come back here and then import something called http response. So we import http response, http sorry so this is the http response. So this http response allows us to write a code in anywhere, just a very short code. So we're going to return something, probably, let me see, then we are returning let me say hello. So we are returning hello here. But we are not just returning it just like that. We need to return something like HTTP response here, and then what will be inside it will be a function view that is going to be directing us to this stuff here. So we have the HTTP response here. So this is how we create a first. Okay, let me just say an hello world. So this is our first view here, and then we're going to come to this UI.py here, the one of our for our app. Then we are going to import. Then we are going to do something like this from dot view. Then views. We're going to import exactly this, exactly what we write in our home. That's sometimes I can do general import by importing everything, but I don't, there are some kind of issues related to that. It's not advisable to do that. So it's advisable to import it one after the other. So I think I have home in my, yeah, I think I have home. So I have it here. Import this one now. So then I'm going to name the files here, which is home. Then after this one now, I'm going to give it a, okay, let me say the name. In case of when we are doing, in case of when we got much older and then want to do something direct, so we give it a name. So the name will be probably maybe, let me say home page. So I'm going to save this now, and then I if I should run my server now, I think this should work. So I will come back here now and do something like Python 3. You can actually write Python or Python 3, anyone. But if you're using Python 2, you can't write up Python 3. You have to put Python 2. Understand? So that's how it works. So Python 3 manage.py. Then we're going to run this server. So you see what happens now. If you don't have an error, it should work. So then another thing I want to show you guys is that before we run this code now, we can actually do something like this, like Python manage.py. Then we can actually check our code if we have any error here. So if I should check the code now, you see I have no issue identified. So that's another thing you can do to just check the kind of things you can do with this one, the kind of command that you can run with manage.py. You can just do something like this. Then Python manage.py. Then you're just going to be doing something like run the server. So you do something like help. So we are going to see a list of commands we can run. We can migrate, we can load the data, we can flush, we can check, we can create catch table, we can check the database and stuff like that. And then you can even test the server. So that's a lot of stuff and a lot of things we can play with there. So now we just need something like Python managers where we want to run our server. So we just want to run our server here, and then boom, it works. So I'm going to open my browser up here, and then you should see exactly what we just do now. Though I should have 120. This is not cool. So now you can see I have my hello world here. So and then we don't like the way it seems more here. So I'm going to come to this view.py here, and then if I should do something like this, h1, and then h1, and then I hope you know that this has to be in what, in everything has to be in the string. So I'm going to run this now and see. So I have hello world here. So